Okie dokie, hey guys, welcome back to another it's not a stream. How's everyone doing? I hope you're all having a great day. So let's just start straight off. It has been a minute since I last uploaded something and, did something different. And yeah, life has just been very, very busy recently. So I am sorry that it hasn't been sooner that I've been doing things. It's just been very, very busy and time consuming. So that's why I haven't really been doing much. But I bring you today something very different. Now, I've been experimenting with different types of content recently, and this is one of them. As you can see, what we have behind my shoulder is something that recently came out in the UK. Now, it's been in the US for about a month now, I think. But recently, we just got the new Marvel Legends Spider-Man No Way Home 3-pack. And it comes with, obviously, Tobey Spider-Man, Tom Spider-Man, and Andrew Spider-Man. And I am so excited to review this. I've been collecting figures, as you can see. There's some there, there's some there. I've been collecting figures since I was a kid, and this is something I've been so hyped for. I pre-ordered this a year ago in August of 2022, and I'm just ready to review these figures, do something completely different, and hopefully you guys enjoy this, because again, it's something different to what I'd usually do. So we're just gonna get into it, and we're gonna go through some of the stuff. So let's do this. So let's start with a little review of the box. So on the front, sorry about the ring light reflection. On the front, we have all of the 3 Spider-Men. Now, recently they started making windowless boxes because they're trying to save on the plastic use. It does say down here that it is plastic free besides, if it wants to focus, besides tape and glue. So that's the only plastic that's used, but this is all cardboard and paper. We have on the top of the box, we have a nice varnished Spider-Man logo for Tom Spider-Man. On the side, we have some really cool artwork. If the ring light wants to go away, there we go. Yeah, there we go. We have some really cool artwork of all 3 of them. I think that's so cool. And on the other side, we have more artwork of the 3 of them. Oh man, it just looks so cool. And on the back, we also have the 3 Spider-Men in their iconic poses with all of their accessories. So the hands and the web lines. This was some of the promotional image we got last year. So I'm just super excited to jump into this. And then on the bottom, it's just some information and warnings and stuff like that. So nothing special, but the box will be back here for the entire video. And we're going to unpackage this and get right into it. Okie dokie, so straight out of the packaging, I wanted to touch up on this because this is something different. So we have received our figures. Oh, I knew that was going to fall. They are like this. They're in this paper bag packaging, which is quite different, and they've tied them up here so it's easy to come undone. But I never thought I'd see them do something like this. I mean, obviously they're cutting down on plastic waste, but it's quite cool to see it like this. So the 3 figures come like that. The hand accessories also come in a little bag like this, and the and the web lines come in a long paper bag like this, where at the top is easy to take out. So we're just going to get these unpackaged quickly, and then I will come right back with the figures in front. Okay, and here they are out of the packaging. Oh my god, I can't even express, right? I know you can see me here. I can't express how good they are out of the actual packaging. They're clean. It's so cleanly done. Like one of the things I was seeing online when people were reviewing them, that the paint wasn't very well done. The only issue I have with a couple of them, see if it wants to focus, I don't know if the camera will focus it, but on the face, yeah, I don't know if it will focus, but there is a couple of issues with some of the painting on the nose. there is a couple of like lines that are, I'm trying to see if it will, I don't know if it will focus, but that's okay. It is a phone camera after all. There's a couple of like mismatched lines, but other than that, there's no real gripes I have with it. Tobey, by far, personally, Tobey is my favourite Spider-Man and also my favourite figure out of all of these three. I'm seeing a lot of love for the Andrew one as well. I think Andrew looks great as well. And Tom is a reused model. I think it is this one. It's a reused model. The accessories came out great as well, with the hands and stuff. Again, it's going to be really hard to see because my camera doesn't like focusing. But they said that all the hands and accessories are molded specifically to the specific Spider-Man. And the way that this has been taken out of the packaging is exactly the way that I'd gotten it, but I'd posed it in a way that, you know, looks like them. Also, it is the closest thing you're going to get because it's what it looks like on the back. The only issue I have, we'll go through the figures each. So this is Tobey's one. I can't explain how much I love this. It's definitely my favorite one out of the three. The printing's well done. All the joints are molded specifically to them, so they all have similar joints. For example, in the arms, all three Spider-Men have butterfly joints, which is these little swivel parts that allow it to move back and forward. They have full articulation in the elbows and the hands. They can, you know, twist, swivel, you know, move around. So can the heads. The heads can go all the way around if they want to, but they don't go terribly far up, which is an issue that a lot of people are having. That's as far as he'll look up. So if you want to get like a scene where, I don't know, Spider-Man's potentially crawling up a wall, if you're trying to get a photo like that, that's as far as he's going to be able to look up, which is okay, but I know a lot of actual figure collectors are quite disappointed at that. The joints are a little bit stiff sometimes when trying to move it, but that's okay, you know, you're going to have that with some figures. There's a couple of, like I said before, there's a couple of like little issues. So for example here, you can't actually fully tell if there's paint on the web lines, but if you look at it from a different angle, you can see that it is fully there. But from this, it looks like there's nothing there. The same with this side. Again, my only issue with Tobey's face is there's two like mismatched paint streaks. You can kind of see it there, but it's not like, you know, noticeable. It's only if you look at it. But so far the printing's amazing. I have no problem with the width between the eyes, because I know a lot of people didn't like the fact that the eyes were too far apart. Yeah, I think it's a really, really well done figure. I like the posability and articulation it has. All the accessories as well. We'll have a little photo shoot at the end of the different ones. But there's Tobey, then we'll go into Tom real quick. Okay, so here is Tom's Spider-Man. Again, this is a already used mold for the figure. They used it before, I think, for there was a wave of figures that they'd used. So they've reused the body, but they've added paint lines, because in the last figure, I'll put a photo right here. In the last figure, it didn't have these black paint lines, but they decided to add it for this one. There's also some of the colouring difference, so the red is darker, and as well where the black is, it's more of like a navy blue this time, whereas before it was fully black. Apparently, from what I've heard, this one is a lot more accurate to what it should be, so that's good. Also, another problem that people are having with the figure, which I've noticed as well, in the actual film, he doesn't have these gauntlets on this suit, but that's okay. Overall, the figure itself is amazing. I really love it. Wait, no, he's amazing. Sorry, my bad. This is a really, really well done figure. and along with the accessories as well. Each Spider-Man comes with a pair of whipping hands, which are these ones, and they all have punching hands. So Tom is obviously using the wall crawler hands, which so far he seems to be the only one with actual spread out fingers, so you know, he can make it look like he's actually crawling up a wall, whereas Tobey's ones are more arched for like posability. As you can see, they're like that. And yeah, overall this figure is really good. Still, Tobey is my favorite one. In terms of Spider-Man, I'd say Tobey's my favorite Spider-Man. In terms of costumes, Andrew's is my favorite costume, and in terms of Peter Parker's, it's got to be Tom's. But yeah, the metal or the metallic kind of color for the spider logo is really good on this. And as well, if you do have an issue with these gauntlets being on, I know you can take them off, but it doesn't, I'll show you very quickly, it doesn't look the most accurate. Well, it does, but it doesn't look very right, I guess, because there's this big black bulky part sticking out. So you can take it off if you really want to, but I think I'm just gonna leave mine on, to be honest. So there is Tom, and let's get into the last one. Okay, and here we have Andrew's. This is Andrew's Amazing Spider-Man. I love this figure. The only issue I have, well, there's just two issues. So firstly, the coloring. Now, it's really good, but as you can see on the box, it's much lighter here, whereas here it's very dark. The figure itself is great, it's just the colouring seems a bit dark. I'd say it would have been more accurate with maybe this bright, maybe a little darker than this, but if that was this kind of colour on there, it would have looked a lot better and vibrant. Another issue as well, I'm trying to think, is it on the arm? I think it was on the arm or the leg, but there is a paint kind of scratch, but it's nothing like too major. Where is it? I'm trying to, well, it's somewhere, it's somewhere on here, but overall this figure is really good. I like that his hand isn't necessarily a wall crawling hand, it's more of like a gesture hand, like a posability hand. So you know, if he's thinking or like talking, he might have his hand behind his back and then do like a hey, it's like da 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 da. So that's also cool as well. He is the tallest of the three Spider-Men, so they've got that accurate. If I put him next to Tom, you can see there is a clear height difference, so at least they've got the accuracy there. But overall, I think this is the best done one out of all of them. I'm going to put a photo here of what they did before, which looks nothing like this, in my opinion, besides obviously the logo. But this is the best done Marvel Legend of this figure, and this is technically the first one. So overall, this figure is great. Again, out of the three, I'd say Tobey is my personal favorite, but in terms of actual costumes, it's got to be, you know, Andrew's Amazing Spider-Man. And also, these two figures are new and exclusive molds, whereas, like stated before, Tom Holland's is the used mold before. So at least we've got brand new molds for that. Now let's jump into some different accessories and different hands on them. Okay, I thought I'd get Tobey up first. I've put him in some crouching position because I did try getting him into this, but it was really hard. I don't know what they did with the front three, but it's very difficult to get them into these positions because of the way their joints are. But him with the crawling hands looks really cool. So we'll put him in another quick position. Oh crap. It's another random Spidey position, but I feel like if you're going to try and get him into one like Tom's back here, that's as low as you're going to get down. I mean, unless you genuinely want to put them to the floor and see if they'll last like that, but it's going to be really hard because then they'll just be looking at the ground because of how their head doesn't go all the way up, sadly, and then they're practically lying on the floor. If you're if you're trying to do it like this, they're practically lying on the floor. But as low down as you're going to get, I think that is as far as you can do. but that's just my idea for the posability. In terms of thwipping hands though, I think it's very different. I think it's quite easy to pose with these, and they look really cool as well. I want to see what it's like to attach to web line, because apparently these web lines have been around for years, but they're not very good. I think if I do this, bear with me, there we go. It's kind of like a bit strange, but it still just attaches around the wrist. It's a bit floppy if you don't really have anything up. So I don't know, I'd say they're good for maybe hanging up, because if you're trying to hang them, then at least they'll hang by the web. But otherwise, I know a lot of the big mainstream figure reviewers want a new web piece, so it's easier to do some stuff with around posability with these, etc. But let's see if we can get another quick position. And for a final positioning, I think that's pretty Spider-Man-esque for Tobey specifically. But otherwise, I genuinely think this figure came out the best out of all of them, personally. Especially, you know, being that my love for Spider-Man originated from Tobey Maguire. I just personally think this is the best figure of the three. But I know a lot of fans are loving the Andrew figure a lot more, which I don't blame them. But yeah, this is definitely my favourite. So let's quickly move on to Tom's Spider-Man. Now for Tom's hands, obviously we got the default, you know, web crawling or wall crawling hands rather. But these are very nice. They're well splayed out compared to Tobey's ones. So these are like the most accurate in terms of actual wall crawling. But I want to try Tom and see what he looks like with the punching hands first. Yeah, with these punching hands, I think it's definitely very good. They obviously go really well with the figure, you know. But personally, so far, these are my favourite hands, just because they're unique to Tom. But these hands, you know, who'll be catching these hands? The Green Goblin, of course, after, spoiler alert, after what he did to May. But, you know, these are pretty good. They're well molded as well. And they're also different to the last punching hands we got for Tom, because the last ones were colored differently, where the hands were actually the red part and then the fingers were the black part. So at least we've got the color correct this time. The only problem is these gauntlets. They should have removed these, and also maybe given Tom a new model. And the biggest issue that all three of them have is we don't have any unmasked versions. So hopefully in the future we will get some of those if they do a re-release or like a 2-pack with one of the Spider-Man and then a villain. So that would be nice. But let's check out these web hands for the last one. Okay, last but not least, we also have Tom with the thwipping hands. I think these are actually pretty good. Also, another thing as well about them, like we said with the punching hands, these ones are different to the last one that we had, because again, the fingertips were black and the actual hands were red. So at least they've got them accurate this time. But yeah, overall, these are really cool accessories for him. And as well with the web line, if we just hook it around the hand, if I can get it on, come on. There we go. It's okay. I don't know. Unless you're hanging the figure, I don't really see a point in them, because they won't really stay, even if you're trying to pose them. But it is what it is, I guess. But overall, this is a pretty cool figure. I just wish they'd given us unmasked versions and also a new model maybe for Tom. But yeah, let's move on to the last but not least, Andrew. And last but not least, we have Andrew. I know I just kind of said that, but I wanted to give him both of his kind of web crawling hands. And one of the things that I was actually going to say that I'm glad popped up behind here was these kind of, the hand gestures that we've got kind of reminds me of when he is bargaining with Electro to like say, listen, I remember you, Max, I remember you, just don't hurt anyone, which is actually what's going on the screen behind. But it's what these kind of remind me of, because obviously one of them is a wall crawling hand, whereas the other is more of like a gesture. But otherwise, I think it's actually really cool. I mean, when I see the hand with Andrew, I just kind of like, I don't know, I imagine him like thinking, like using it as like a okay, I wonder. It's just what I'm imagining, at least. But that is the wall crawling hands, or one of them at least. Let's get into both the punching hands. And now we have Andrew with the punching hands. Again, these are really well done. And while I was changing out the figure, this is the little paint problem that I noticed. It's really, really hard to see, but just in that crevice there's a little bit of red scratched paint. Again, these are just like really, really minor things, you know. It's nothing like too, you know, out or off-putting, I guess. But otherwise it's really well done. I love the detail that they've got for the actual hand. You know, they've not missed out on any of the detail at all. There is no like messed up printing that I see for like the black part, and as well it's all of this up here. It's not like messed up, you know, nothing's messed up in the actual printing. But that's it. As well with the eyes, a lot of people have been having problems with the eyes. So far I'm noticing nothing that's off. I mean, it's a perfectly done figure. But let's quickly get into the thwipping hands, and then that will be it. And there he is with the thwipping hands. I think that his thwipping hands might be my favorite out of all of them, because they're like the most splayed out and they're the most like posable, I guess. But other than that, I really, really do. I really love this figure. It really, really is good. Again, with the actual this little piece here, there isn't really much point to it, I guess. Again, this is just in my opinion. It feels so unnecessary. I think they would have benefited a lot more having the actual unmasked heads, because I don't think anyone is going to use these pieces, and if they do, they're going to use maybe a custom version of it. But otherwise, yeah, I really, really like this. Thwipping hands are very good. You know, they can mismatch like a Kamehameha. But yeah, that is Andrew's figure. And let's just do a quick overview. And there we have all three. My final thoughts still, Tobey is definitely my favourite action figure out of all of them. Personally, the costume is the best from Andrew, and I love Tom's Peter Parker and the unique printing that they all have. Each other, you know, their own individual printing in itself is really cool because they're all unique. With Tobey and Andrew, obviously, again, they're their own unique model. They have never had these sculpts for them before, and I'm glad that we finally actually have a Tobey Maguire figure that we've never had before from Marvel Legends, I don't think. And as well, one for Andrew, because the last one we had of him, which I put up on the screen earlier, was very, very, very bad. It looked nothing like him. So yeah, overall, I'm glad that I have these. These are really awesome, and I definitely recommend you buy them. The only issue is the price. The price is a bit unjustified, I personally think. But if you're a collector like me and you like these kind of figures, then I definitely recommend getting them before they sell out. Okie dokie, so that was my personal review of all three of these figures. If you guys enjoyed, please make sure to leave a like and subscribe. If you want me to do this in the future, maybe leave a comment and a thumbs up if you haven't already, because it will allow me to know if you guys enjoyed what you saw today. Again, I personally love all three of these figures. I definitely recommend you buying them. The only problem again is the price. You know, not everyone has £100 to just spare on something like this. Yes, it was £100. But thank you guys so much for watching. Have a great day, and hopefully you'll see more content soon. Bye guys.